Boy, you just can't make this up. Trending around the world right now. You probably already know. Might be one of the reasons why you came to the video. Besides the hurricanes, it's Kamala Harris, CBS, even CBS fraud. Hashtag interviews. I'm reading the list right now. The internal polling for Kamala Harris are so depressing that the Dems forced her to do interviews, and you're going to see more interviews this week as you see her polling is dropping like it's hot, which it has been doing. That's why I tell you guys, we cannot look at polls. I don't care. Who cares about the polls? Even though I'm a creator and I have to show you guys, I have to report it. You know, we see landslide, Trump, this, that. We see some that say tied, and then we see the ones that they're even betting. The corporate, everybody is on Trump now. Everybody has their money on Trump. But again, we can't get complacent, and we have to go out, register. Everybody has to register and go out and vote. Because boy, again, I think if things are done fair, history will be done on that map. With these polls, I'm telling you, history will be made for Trump, man. This might be the worst polling Democrat in our lifetime. Just saying. The worst performing Democrat in our lifetime, man. But right now trending is these interviews. And you're going to see more interviews because like I told y'all, it wasn't hiding, ducking, dodging, and running. Now they see it. It's put them in a hole. It didn't work. And now every interview she's done, every podcast she's done, just in the last 72 hours. We'll say this in the last week, because sometimes they recorded at different times. It's not looking good for her. Her campaign is pretty much over with. You know, and not just Republicans are saying this, even Democrats are saying this. Even her base is saying this. Even CNN. Boy, you just can't make it up, man. You just can't make this up. Look at this, y'all. Boy.
The work that we have done has resulted in a number of...
Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that prompted by or a result of many things
who is not listening.
We're not going to stop.
Boy. And people are mad. Just drop the full interview, unedited. How does she have word salads on edited clips? How do you bomb an edited interview? How do you bomb a pre-tape edited interview? This isn't a presidential candidate, you guys. And now, as you can see, the world is feeling that right now, man. The world is feeling that. But I couldn't wait to get into this this video with Valuetainment. I couldn't wait for them to break it down. Boy. Let's go and jump in, man.
Yesterday, Kamala Harris does a 60-minute interview. Now, to be fair, this was an actual interview.
Yes.
The host would not let her get away with anything. He followed up with the questions back to back to back. I'm going to show a clip. I think we're going to go through 3 of them. One of them has to do about immigration. One of them has to do when he asks if you own a gun. And you should see her face when he asks the follow-up question, have you ever used it? I mean, you have to see the way she answers the question. And there's a couple other ones that she gets very uncomfortable, but he does a phenomenal job in this interview. And I have my own reasons why I believe he is pushing as hard as he is, but we'll have here plenty of commentary. So let's get right into it, Rob. Which one do you want to start off with first?
Would you like the child tax credit, the border issue?
Let's start off with the border first. Go
and
for
this
it.
is Bill Whitaker, by the way.
This is Bill Whitaker from
Philly.
60 Minutes. Go for it.
Rob's stomping ground.
The border for years.
Watch this expression.
And so I know this is not a problem that started.
Media's taken heat.
So they're going to take down my video if I play the clip. The only person there that had it edited perfectly was Benny Johnson, and even Officer Tatum video was okay, but they still blocked certain parts out of the video. So I just want to get their takes on everything, though, you guys. Because boy, like I say, these interviews are nuking her campaign. It's already over. You know, but these next new interviews you guys are going to hear this upcoming week, these next 2 weeks, and they're going to put Obama on the trail. It's just it's played out. It is played out. People are tired of hearing the exact same thing. Repeated, can't go off script, the same lies, you know. And then Biden comes out and says we're singing off the same song sheet. She played a big role, a big part in what we're doing and what we have done these last 3.5, 4 years. You know, and you see and even CNN just called her out for for going on The View, you know, and literally embarrassing herself. So basically, what it looks like to voters, if I vote for Kamala Harris, it's just going to be another 4 years of the Biden-Harris administration. Millions are struggling and dying right now. Inflation, the border wide open, come on in. But we the people come last. FEMA's running out of money. We got big hurricanes coming that already came and passed. And wiped out towns, houses, homes. Lives have been devastated. But she's on a sex podcast where they talk about blowjobs and they're on there talking about tampons. While all this is going on. I'm telling you, this is it for her campaign, man.
Heat. I mean, let's face it. We don't need to go into detail, but the president debate, the VP debate, the media is taking heat for being a lapdog of the left. And what you have here is 60 Minutes. And Bill Whitaker, if you know Bill Whitaker's history, he's a straight up guy. You know, he's got his slant left, but he's been a straight up interviewer. And that's typically the history of the 60 Minute staff. And what I see here is there's a lot of cuts in here and there's a lot of edits, but he is trying to get her to answer the question for the American people, and I applaud what he did. And when you look at her reaction, she's angry. You could tell that was anger and that was reaction coming out there. And she's trying to do what all politicians do, that she's not very unique at, but trying to, well, we need, and we need Congress. And so when you get the hands waving and the restarting of sentences and bringing in third topics, which is what she was doing, you know, she's got no answer. So I gave her a screaming F on that. And he's trying to follow up and get her to answer the question. That's how I process this. And I was shocked that it was allowed to go out on broadcast like this. I would have thought that CBS would have stepped on it, suppressed it, or spun it differently. But I actually, you know, was favorably impressed with Bill Whitaker.
Vinny.
Yeah, I was impressed too. I don't think, Tom, that she got the questions beforehand. That looks like a genuine upset. Like, how dare you?
A lot of people saying that she did not get the questions beforehand in this interview.
Question me when you know that I failed so bad. I think that it's, I don't want to say day late, dollar short, but we've had 4 years and now it's like everything is falling apart. You know what I mean? The wheels are off and now they're starting to come around. But it's a good question, Pat. Why are they letting this air so late? Why would they let her get exposed like this so late?
It's actually not late because there's still 3.5 weeks left. So trust me, the news cycle right now, by tomorrow, but not by tomorrow, by Thursday, you forgot about this. It's done. Mm-hmm. Everything right now is jab, and you just have to survive these jabs. Now, this is a good hook. You got caught.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not a joke. By the way, go play the next clip, Rob, about flipping positions. Go play the clip about flipping positions where... Do you have that one or no? Where she's kind of like, is this the one?
It is.
Go ahead and play the clip. Watch this.
Tell you what your
This is probably the
critics
best
and
one.
the columnists
Hands down.
say.
Watch this.
Okay.
They say that the reason so many voters know you, tightening them up, you were for Medicare for all.
Yeah, y'all seen that clip. You were for fracking. My values haven't changed.
What is possible in terms of common ground solutions? And that has been my approach.
Meanwhile, the people are saying, well, wait. Let's get back to the question. Tell me what you're going to do about that, because I'm very interested in it. That was weak. That was.
Adam, what do you think?
I see mayor candidates do a better job spinning back.
So she can run and hide all she wants from the border, but the Biden-Harris administration has to own that problem. I mean, just if you look at the stats. I mean, whatever number you come up with is very believable. 10 million, 15 million, 20, whatever the number is, it's kind of like just come on in. But we hear the term, oh, he's a puppet, she's a puppet. Oh, they're not really the ones running the government. They're a puppet. Well, this is a living, breathing example of a actual puppet. She didn't earn this nomination. If Biden was able to walk upstairs and formulate sentences, he would still be the nominee. She was coronated to basically usurp Biden, and he reluctantly sort of exited stage left after Nancy Pelosi told him that he was ruining the down ballot ticket after...
Yeah, we know Nancy walked in there with that box wine and said we could do this the easy way or hard way. And then Barack walked in there smiling and, putting his hand on his head, sweating. And then Big Mike walked in there smiling. Big Mike. Yeah. Hillary came in there with that big bottle of hot sauce. Let's ask Hillary. Did she think she win the election? Since we always blame Trump and because we know what happened in 2020, let's ask Hillary then. Let's see what Hillary thinks about 2016. But they said we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
The Obamas of the world.
Adam, what do you think about what she said here?
Well, what I'm saying is that she's not saying anything. She doesn't have policy perspective. She doesn't have anything tangible to run on. She's just repeating talking points. And if you saw over the weekend, her teleprompter went out. Yeah. And she froze. She's like, oh,
32,
no.
32.
That
What
clip,
do I do?
You saw the life come out of her eyes because she's like, I don't know how to do
She can't avoid
Watch
the
this.
economy. She
Play
can't
this
avoid
clip.
inflation. And she can't avoid not knowing what she's talking
Remember
about.
his
Go ahead.
number? 32. Today we got 32 days until the election.
Oh, God. Ready?
And the
Ready?
teleprompter
No,
goes
ready?
out now. 32, man.
32 days.
32 days.
Jeopardy song.
Okay, we got some business to do.
No, she's gone.
All right.
Hip hop.
32 days.
You don't have the ability to tell
and
a
we
story.
know
Just tell
we
a story.
will do it.
We will do it.
Put the sheep around her. So many sheep.
And this is going to be a very tight race until the very end. This is going to be a very tight race
That is
until the very end. We are the
Because
underdog.
you can pause it right there. What happens when you're in a conversation with a world leader and the conversation goes in a direction you did not expect? What do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to give you questions in advance when you're meeting with G?
Nope.
You think they're going to give you questions in advance when you meet with, a Putin, or if you choose to meet with Putin or any of these guys? No, you're not. So then the question becomes, either the people that say you're just a puppet are right, or you're just not qualified for the job. Rob, play the clip about, which one is this? Is this the Glock?
No, this is the Glock, though. This clip.
Play the Glock clip. Watch this. This is funny.
You recently surprised people when you
A Glock, and I've shot it at the range. Man, we see through all this crap, man. We know what you stand for. We know your lies, man. People are not stupid.
when and why did you get it?
I have a Glock.
Unbelievable, man. I gotta, yeah. Let's get.
Somebody asks you, you have a gun? It's kind of like this. Ask me, you have a car.
Yeah.
Ask me.
Do you have a car?
I do.
Okay, what kind is it?
I have a Ford.
Okay, what kind of Ford, though? What?
No, but I have a Ford.
I understand that, Pat, but what kind of
Do you ever
Ford?
drive your Ford?
Is it a Mustang?
Is it a Mustang? Is it an Escape? Is it a Ford F-150? You know? Is it a Ford Taurus? You know? Unbelievable.
Of course I drive my Ford.
At a shooting range? You drove your Ford at a shooting
No,
range?
I drive my Ford in a freeway like everybody else.
Yeah.
By the way, that is the.
Well, we're in Dallas, sir. You only
Who
have
the hell
tollways.
says I have a Glock?
Yeah.
So hold on. Do you think she's lying about having a gun?
I don't
because
think-
I don't think this serves her constituency. It's not
She
like
doesn't-
it's not like the single cat ladies are like
Do you
yes.
believe she? You think?
I don't believe whatever you're about to say.
No.
The answer is no.
But do you?
I don't believe her.
Do you believe she owns a Glock?
I don't think that's something you just make up. You think that is?
I don't.
Glock is, by the way, if you go back and you think about guns from hip
What y'all
hop,
think? Comment down below. You think she actually owns a Glock, y'all?
rap,
Yeah.
you'll hear Glock.
She grew up- she grew up with Tupac.
Right. So, do you believe she owns a gun?
Absolutely not. And guess this is how easy the world is, guys. Show me a photo of you holding a gun. That's all. That's all you have to do. Just show me. No, I don't believe
Okay,
her.
so-
I would have been like me and you. We have guns. I would like, yo, Glock 9mm. I have the.
There she is, bro. That's a believable photo. Hello.
Oh, so she does. That's it. Let's move on.
Guys, yo,
Let's move on.
Why would this would this be a
Because
talking point
that's
she wants to endorse?
What she's trying to do, here's what she's trying to do. She used to be not for fracking. Now she is. She used to be about taking your guns if necessary. Now she's owns a Glock and she shoots it all the time at a range apparently. She used to be against, she used to be for high taxes. Now she's all about entrepreneurs and she says, I'm a capitalist. She said that yesterday on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
I'm a true capitalist. Listen, it's not a good look. Nobody believes you. No one believes you.
Can I say one thing, though, Pat?
Yeah, go
The
for it.
scary thing, I don't want to say sad. The scary thing is people are believing her. And that's how she is right now leading in the national polls. And that's what's
But
insane.
who? The people, here's a question.
Yeah.
The people that matter, do they believe her?
That's
Like,
what-
I'm talking about the people that are going to matter in the election. Like right now, if you go to vtnews.ai,
Yep.
Rob, if you could just go to VT News, click on the homepage. Okay, this is the homepage. If you go on vtnews.ai and you can go to the bottom right, okay, and click on the election in the U.S., click on that and go to it, zoom out, right here, okay, as of right now, this is right now, the national poll shows she's ahead by 1.4, okay? But if you go to Arizona, click on Arizona,
By the way,
it tells
1.4 is
you
not good.
Trump's up. Look at all those places Trump's up. These are many different polls. Tom, you want to break this down for everybody and go one by one?
Yeah, what we do, VT Analytics, we pull together polling data. We look at the background. We want polls that are recent from pollsters, liberal pollsters, conservative pollsters, but we want the ones that have shown themselves to be more accurate in the 2020 election and the 2022 midterm election. So we pull those most recent. We put the dates up, the margin of error, all the data up there. And right now, Arizona, 2.7 for Trump on the most recent polls. That's what we see. You go to Georgia, it's going to be much tighter, Rob. And Rob can just step through these battleground set. Georgia is dead tied, at least according to the current polls. Michigan, as you would expect, out there rural, Trump sliver. Nevada with all the union right now, we think that's hers.
She's
but
winning
then you go
Nevada.
to North Carolina. Now that's another story there because it's 1.3 up, but we have a lot of voters, unfortunately,
Wait,
that
Tom,
are tragically
why is
impacted.
Atlas Intel, who is the most accurate last time, why are they saying Harris is up 2.4 in North Carolina?
Atlas Intel's is pulling out the stops, and they did, as you take a look at it, 1,173, and they also said that it was a full margin of error of 3, so that's anywhere from 0.6 for Trump, 0.4 for Harris, but Atlas Intel is, you go take a look at what they pulled, and they pulled one that was more urban, it's a little more urban, but that's what we're looking at.
Tom, you didn't answer my question. Here's what I'm asking. Atlas Intel, that last time had the smallest margin of error over everybody. CNN had the worst. LA Times had the worst. WAPO had the Post worse. Atlas Intel is saying that she's up 2.4 in Carolina. That's a lot of credibility for these guys. These are not a left-wing place.
That's right. We accept that poll because we know North Carolina and Georgia are going to be close.
Okay, so go to the next one, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, this one, we actually are in lines up with, you see the most recent of all of these is the Emerson and the Trafalgar. Trafalgar, 926 and 929. That's Trump 3. We believe, especially after what you've seen over the weekend, we're anxious to see the new polls coming out of Pennsylvania after.
There's just no way this isn't a land. I just don't see how. I just don't see it, man. There's no way Trump doesn't run away with this.
The big rally. But we're putting them all up there. The
And
good.
go Wisconsin. Go to Wisconsin to see what that looks like. and in Wisconsin is going Harris. And even we believe that as well.
Tom, was Pennsylvania normally Democratic?
Pennsylvania, by the way, thank you for asking that. That's not a planted question. I'll give you the answer. Pennsylvania is increasingly becoming purple. If you look at the last 3 elections and you look at central Pennsylvania and the suburbs that are around Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, there is more Hispanic and black vote heading conservative. And so Pennsylvania has been becoming purple. And people are saying right now that it is light purple. It is not the blue stronghold that it was for 5 elections prior to 2016.
Well, can I give you just a little perspective? You said earlier, well, it seems like she's pulling ahead, or, it seems like it's breaking through. It's actually not. I always follow the Vegas polls. For the first time in almost 2 months, Trump has finally pulled ahead of Kamala in terms of Vegas. I'm not sure what this one is, but it's been neck and neck this entire time, but he's basically inching a little bit higher. Now, you've seen how Kamala, Rob, I sent you this on Wall Street Journal. How Kamala's like, I was working class family. I was born in the working class. Well, in a ironic twist, the number one story in the Wall Street Journal right now is Kamala Harris struggling to break through with the working class. And her inner circle is basically saying we need to do better. Crucial states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, which we just discussed, basically it's not coalescing how they basically wanted her to do this.
Or historically,
exactly. So I don't know. Is this her ceiling is my question. After the 60 minutes, essentially a debacle, has she peaked? We'll find out.
Well, there's a lot of discussion on the strategy that they're putting in place. Why is she going? She is not speaking to her own people this week. She is bouncing around on comedy podcasts. They are looking for other groups of voters at the edge. And I happen to think on one hand, I kind of laugh at the strategy that I see that she's putting forth this week. But on the other hand, because I'm like, why would you go on that podcast? My gosh, why don't you go on a podcast that talks about substance and at least gives people from the middle an opportunity to talk? Instead, you go on Call Her Daddy.
You're questioning a break. Why she would do that?
Well, she's doing that trying to get to different groups of voters.
Is this her asking why you agreed to do this?
With Alex Cooper, right?
Yes, this is why you agreed to do this podcast.
Go for it.
I'm curious, you don't do too many long form interviews. What made you want to do Call Her Daddy today?
Well, I think you and your listeners have really got this thing right, which is,
and look, she right now as they're showing this, she has over 50,000 dislikes on this video and 10,000 likes. Wow, what an epic fail.
one of the best ways to communicate with people is to be real. And to talk about the things that people really care about. What I love about what you do is that your voice in your show is really about your listeners. And I think especially now, this is a moment in the country and in life where people really want to know they're seen and heard and that they're part of a community, that they're not out there alone.
Did you see her on
Well, I mean, getting real is important. What you really didn't do at the border, what you really did with Willie Brown, what you're really talking about here, how you're really flip-flopping to look like Trump.
Rob, go to the last clip with economy. Go to the last clip with economy, and then we'll move on to the next topic with Musk and Tucker.
My plan is about saying that when you invest in small businesses,
she talks quietly to people in Congress, not out loud, quietly. By the way, she was on Stephen Colbert as well, Pat. You want to talk about cringe? Because she's doing those rounds, like he said. Call Her Daddy, Stephen Colbert. Have you seen this? This is just brace yourself for the level of cringe. And listen to him. Obviously, he's a leftist shill, but check this one out, Pat.
What is it that is, to coin a phrase, great about America and that kindles your love for it?
He used Kindle.
there's so much.
Unbelievable.
In these years where we have witnessed so-called leaders attempting to create division between us.
Ugh. I can't, man. I can't.
Yeah, I got it. I mean, the point is, but when it go back to the economy point, when he's asking her about economy, how are you going to get it done? Like, this isn't lip service. How are you going to get it done? And she does not have an answer.
No, she said she's going to just take billionaires and millionaires and just tax the hell out of them.
Right.
That's what your goal is.
Tom, any final thoughts on this before we move on?
Yeah, I do. And I would like to go back to CBS for a second. CBS is sitting number 3 in the ratings. On an average night, ABC gets almost 8 million viewers, NBC 6, and CBS barely 4.2. So they're literally in third place. And they took it in the chops after Margaret Brennan looked so terrible and Norah O'Donnell, who is the lead host of the debate, looked less than terrible, but still really bad. CBS took a lot of heat for that. And at the end of the day, CBS also needs to think about CBS. They're running a business. And I think, and 60 Minutes, CBS, I think they came out on this, and Bill Whitaker, and they're trying to show journalistic integrity. And I think that's what they were trying to do. Now, they all have a relapse tomorrow morning and they get back to cheering for one side. But I was thinking about this a little bit more strategically and thinking about just CBS and as a business, Pat, and thinking this is where CBS has to come back up and say, man, we got to show America that they should be watching us because they're not getting viewers.
So let me ask you, what is the chance that 60 Minutes is going to apologize to Trump for not talking about the Hunter Biden laptop and saying it was wrong?
Minus 4,000%.
Okay, and what's the chances that they think that Trump's going to see this and say they were tough on her, that now I'll agree to come and be on 60 Minutes?
I think they're trying to bait him that way, yes.
Wow. I agree. That's why I think this was a tough interview, because you know what it is at the end of the day? Ooh. You know what wins at the end of the day that makes everybody honest? Here's what wins at the end of the day. If you don't get ratings and people are not watching what you're doing, you're out of business. And if you're not getting eyeballs, people sit there and say, your customers are not happy, they will go elsewhere. You can keep doing these bogus interviews. No one likes you, they're going to go to somebody that's doing real interviews. Ratings are real. Customers are the most important voters in America, period. You can say whatever you want. They're not going to change. Let me go to another. Let me give you guys an update here about election night. So election night, that's coming up November 5th. It's going to be the biggest party in the country, minus the one that Trump and Kamala host together. I have 4 guests that I'm announcing that are now going to be at the election night with us. We're going to have some of the old timers that are coming back. So those guys are going to come back no matter what. They'll be with us while we go live on the podcast from 7 p.m. to 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe even later. It's going to be one of those marathons. And by the way, it's so awesome seeing other people who are business podcasts are now saying, we're going to host a live event as well. No problem. We like to lead people. We're leaders amongst who else is going to come here. So don't be the person. Hey, property I'm on right.
Yeah, man. Boy, I couldn't wait to check out this. Everybody was sending me the PNB podcast. Like, Rick, you got to go check this out, man. But a circus, man, and it continues. But we are 28 days out, man, and we encourage everybody to go out and vote. It has to be too big to rig. And after everything we've seen, man, after everything you guys have seen and heard, we see why liberals, lifelong Democrats are packing up their bags, man. They are done. They've had enough. I'm telling you, I won't be surprised if this is the worst performing Democrat in our lifetime. And Trump doesn't just run away with this, man. But let me know what y'all think. Comment down below, and I will catch you beautiful people in the next one, man. God bless you all and your families. One love to the human race, baby.